while you were sleeping at 3 engsub part 1 inch. Suzy's character is a nutter, so Lee Jong-seok spends the drama making these hilarious faces at her like he doesn't know what planet she's from. That's not to say that the thriller aspect of the show has gone anywhere though, because there are consequences to be faced for changing the future. If there's one thing we should never be surprised about in Dramaland, it's that messing with fate always has a price. A horrible, unfair, grossly inflated price with interest. Fate is basically a loan shark gangster. Episode 3, The Good, the Bad, the Weird. The police and paramedics descend on the scene of the car crash, and as everyone gives statements, it appears more and more like our heroine Hongju is there with prosecutor Jae-chan, and not her actual date. Set date, lawyer Yu-bum, glares at them the whole time and exchanges pointed looks with Jae-chan. Hongju does her own share of staring at Jae-chan, remembering how he appeared in the snow to rescue her like a goblin. You can practically see the hearts in her eyes, and Jae-chan finally has to ask her to look away. He asks how she could possibly believe him, thinking that distrust and anger are the expected reactions to his crazy talk. But she says she believes that he saved her, and shocks him by guessing that he had a dream, and that dream kept coming true. I have dreams like that too, and those dreams always come true. Like you, she says. That only seems to confuse him more. At a piano concert, cameo by Kim So-hyun, looking like she stepped right out of Page Turner, a woman in the audience is covered in sweat and looking anxious, and pulls away from her husband's hand while trembling. After being checked out at the hospital, Jae-chan asks Hongju if she has these premonition dreams often, insisting that he's not asking because he believes her or anything. She tells him that she has them often, and there's no consistency since sometimes the incident happens minutes later, or sometimes months later. He asks if her dreams have ever been wrong, but she says no, some have yet to come true, but they haven't been wrong yet. And when he asks whether she's ever been able to change what happens in her dreams, she says that's why he's amazing. He reiterates that it's not like he believes her or anything, but he wonders what happens if she's right and he really did change the future. What happens now? Hongju says, if you block the flow of water, it will make a new path. You blocked things that were supposed to happen, so time will probably flow in a different direction? As she says this, we cut to the young man in the Batman cap that Jae-chan saved, Han Woo-tak, Yong-hyun, putting on a policeman's uniform. He tells his co-worker that he almost died tonight. At the piano concert, as pianist So-yoon gives interviews on camera, the woman who was covered in sweat suddenly faints at her feet. It turns out to be her mother, and everyone gasps to see her blouse covered in what looks like footprints. So-yoon glares at her father, and the TV reporter who was conducting the interview calls the police right away to report domestic abuse. The dad screams that it wasn't him, but his daughter doesn't seem to believe him. While all this commotion is going on, Jae-chan's little brother runs into the concert hall with flowers in hand. Is this the Friends concert he was so eager to see? Okay, now I really do have to rewatch Page Turner. As little bro arrives to see So-yoon, we ominously cut back to Jae-chan as he asks, If time flows differently, what direction does it go in, better or worse? Hongju admits that she doesn't know, since she's never been able to change the future. But she guesses that at first, things won't seem that different, but the more time that flows, the bigger the difference will get. So Yoon's mother gets taken away in an ambulance, and her father gets taken away in a police car, and one of the cops happens to be Batman Cap, Woo-tak. Inside, So Yoon stands stoically, tears streaming down her face. Little bro walks up to her with his flowers, but she doesn't seem happy to see him. She grabs him by the collar and growls at him never to speak of this, and he meekly agrees. She's still gripping his lapels, so he tenderly covers her hands with his and promises sincerely not to say a word. She stays like that and lets herself cry as she thanks him quietly. Back at the hospital, Hongju asks why Jae-chan went to such lengths to cause a car crash and save her, when he could have written it off as just a dream. He doesn't know why, but she says she can see it plain as day. When was it that you first fell for me? Prahahaha. Jae-chan, what? Fall? Who? Me? For you? He physically backs away from her and says there must be some sort of misunderstanding, but she just hilariously scoots closer and guesses that he fell for her when she hugged him, which is why he hugged her back. He rambles about how she hugged him first, so he just hugged her back without any feelings. Hongju shoots back, you hugged me for too long for it to be without any feelings, all pat-pat. Are you the type to just hug any woman? He blurts, no. Which just gives her more ammunition, then I'm not just any woman. What's so special about me? What are my attractive qualities? He doesn't see how she got to this conclusion, only to have her think that he must have fallen for her before coming to rescue her. She asks if it was at the bus stop then, or when he brought rice cakes to her house, and with every question he backs away another seat until he falls right off the bench and lands butt first on the floor. She completely ignores the fall and asks if he fell for her voice over the intercom, or maybe even moved across the street to be near her. Has near tears by now, not knowing what to do with the crazy. The frame freezes on Jae-chan's face and a Chiron labels him good guy, which must mean we have a bad guy and a weird guy on the way. Sure enough, we cut to Yubam on his way home, and has labeled bad guy. And then, LOL, weird guy turns out be Hongju.